8 teams from our coverage area made the playoffs, and we were at every single game tonight. The River Valley Raiders had one of the best seasons in the last 2 decades, but they had an uphill battle tonight when they took on the undefeated Zane Trace Pioneers. But that only scratches the surface of tonight's playoff action. And it's all up next on Gridiron Glory. It's time to kick off the first week of the playoffs, and we've got a lot of ground to cover. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. We started with 35 teams at the beginning of the season, and after 10 weeks, 8 teams qualified for this year's playoffs. But it doesn't matter how they got here. The slate has been wiped clean, and what matters now is winning one game at a time to keep the season alive. Tonight was historic for both Zane Trace and River Valley. This was Zane Trace's first time ever hosting a playoff game, and River Valley made their first ever playoff appearance. And Blaine Caraher was out in Chillicothe to see it all go down.
All right, so we're out here in Nelsonville, York, and I'm trying to find my next fan of the week, but I'm having trouble finding anyone.
In the Athens game against River Valley last year, the Bulldogs dismantled the Raiders in a 77-14 win. But Clay, with the spot in the playoffs on the line, this was a huge game for both teams and maybe the biggest of the season so far. But the fans of the Sheridan Generals made sure they represented the conference and their team when I was out there for Fan of the Week.
So I'm out here with all of these crazy Sheridan fans, and they're trying to cheer on the Generals to beat Maysville tonight. Let's hear it, guys. First off, I'm going to need to have someone to throw a route to, so I need a wide receiver. All right, guys, what's going to be the score tonight? Because you are just one game behind Maysville. It's an important game.
80-0.
80-0.
Go Generals! Go Generals!
Go Maysville!
So I'm out here with Josh, and it may be 50 degrees and raining, but he is definitely Sheridan's biggest fan, and he is our next Fan of the Week.
Yeah.
As the weeks roll on, the top plays keep getting better and better, and tonight the players raise the bar yet again. Now let's get it started at number 3. Jordan Leisure gets the handoff, and he doesn't have to worry about breaking a single tackle. His linemen clear the way for him, and he takes it all the way up the right sideline, 64 yards to the end zone, but that would be the only touchdown for Amanda Clear Creek as they lost 13-6. Now, to top play number 2. This one comes from Trumbull game against Wahama tonight. The White Falcons punted away, and it looks like no one is going to get to it until Cameron Curry takes it off the bounce, and he gone. That should look familiar because Curry had a punt return touchdown last week, and Trimble wins big. And here it is, our top play. This one comes from our game of the week. Hunter Edwards is trying to find someone downfield, but Weston Kelly knocks the ball out, and look who's there to pick it up. Cody Bartram gets the scoop, and you know what's next. He gone. Megs wins again, 32-14. Blaine Caraher is with me now, and Blaine, you were out in Chillicothe for this game, and there was no doubt that Uniota was the underdog going into this.
So this league is going to go through Tri-Valley or Maysville.
Well, Maysville has a big game against Sheridan next week, but you're right, Tri-Valley, the team to beat in the MVL. Thanks a lot, Megan. And now, Josh, over to your game. Morgan hasn't beaten the Sheridan Generals since 2007. And in the last 7 years, Sheridan has outscored the Raiders 342-69. So, Josh, was Morgan able to keep this one close? And since we're halfway through the season, it's time to start talking about our mid-season Player of the Year watch list. And since we covered 35 teams, Carly Bell joins me on the desk to help break down the area's top players.
Trumbull's going for their 3rd straight TVC Hockey title, but the Wahama White Falcons are looking to knock them off. Also, for Fan of the Week, we have Maysville against the Sheridan Generals, and our Game of the Week, the Megs Marauders are hosting the Nelsonville York Buckeyes. And it's all up next on Gridiron Glory!
Our second Snapchat is hands down the most creative so far. Landon and Kane Hutchinson sent this picture with their eye on game day against Waterford. And last but not least, we have this picture of Chase Roberts with the caption, "Best back in the MVL in school mode." Now it looks like Chase is zoning out a little in class, but in football, he was definitely in beast mode tonight as he led the Panthers to a 42-0 win over John Glenn. Last year, the Jackson Ironmen thumped Logan 42-7 to stay unbeaten. But this year, the tables have turned. Logan came into this game undefeated, looking to give Jackson a taste of its own medicine. So another Athens win over NY. It was a big win for the Bulldogs to close out the season. Clay, thanks a lot. Tonight's TVC Ohio showdown between Alexander and Meigs was for all the marbles, or rather just a share. The Spartans clinched a share of the crown back in Week 8. But with the win, the Marauders could take home their first title since 1998. For the second consecutive year, Jackson hosted a playoff game. Tonight, the Ironmen faced the Bexley Lions, and Danny Dean went to Jackson for the first ever matchup between these two teams. Election Day has come and gone, but there's still one more issue to vote on, and that's Gridiron Glory's Player of the Year. Head over to our website to cast your vote with who you think should be our next Player of the Year. You can also do your part by spreading the word on Twitter by using our hashtag GGPOY. This year's finalists are Justice Jenkins, Lane Little, Chase Roberts, Mason Chapman, and Zakiah Saltzman. Voting ends on November 17th, so get your vote in before it's too late. Trumbull and Caldwell met in their second straight regional semifinal game tonight. Kelsey Steele is live in Maysville. And Kelsey, I gotta know, did this game have the same suspense as last year? First off, Coach, congratulations. We have this plaque here for you. Congratulations on a great season. Now, when you took over, your program was 1-9. What was your message to your players at the very beginning when you took over that led to this historic season? Tri-Valley hasn't lost an MVL game since 2010. In fact, the Scotties' last MVL road loss dates all the way back to October 21st of 2005. That's 39 consecutive road wins. Tonight, they travel to Maysville, a team they've never lost to.
And I'm excited to see where this team can go.
Well, it's definitely working, and they won the TVC Ohio tonight. Patrick, thanks for the great work. And I know everyone has been used to the Glory15 hashtag, and we've had a lot of fun with it throughout the season. But it's time to shake things up. There's nothing better than Friday nights, and there's nothing quite like playoff football. The Gridiron represents memories made, blood shed, and tears spilled, all in the name of achieving glory. Share the memories you make during the remainder of the season by using our new hashtag, Glory Days. And as always, our Player of the Year will be announced on our finale episode, which is on November 20th. If your team is heading to the playoffs, be sure to keep an eye out for a preview of their first round game on our website. Now don't forget to start using the new hashtag Glory Days. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.